2, 1.
And we are live on YouTube right now. We're doing game day predictions. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow, we're doing it for tomorrow's game because we have no lunch tomorrow. We have the minimum day. So let's go ahead and start right now. We have a top 20 matchup between number 19 Texas and number 7 Oklahoma. It's at the Cotton Bowl neutral site halfway in Dallas. So Chai, tell me your thoughts about this game.
The Red River rivalry is one of the greatest games of all time. In fact, given the fact that we're talking about Yankees, Bo Sox, and we're talking about all these other great rivalries, this is one of the great ones. And I'm going to tell you honestly, tonight, listen, Kyle, you guys got to believe me on this one. This one is actually going to come down to offense, and I am calling the upset. I am calling for the burnt orange to take it to Kyler Murray and Oklahoma, because is Kyler Murray out?
I think he's still playing.
Still back?
Yeah, I think he's playing. He violated team rules, and so he didn't get to start. He was late to practice on the Friday before.
Well, I think they're going to have a great game plan. They're going to come out. Texas is going to take it to Oklahoma. Calling it.
Gonna have to disagree with you there. Kyler Murray's just looked too good this year. Oh! Some UCLA gear. I feel like Kyler Murray's just looked too good this year, and Texas hasn't really impressed me all that much. So with that said, I think it'll be close, but I'm going with Oklahoma. Mr. Ward?
You know what? When I look at this matchup here, you know, the Red River rivalry, it's a wonderful time. But you know what? I'm going to probably have to agree with Chai here because you know what? I think a little bit here. Murray's a little bit overrated, if you ask me. I think the Longhorns are the real deal, riding this 4-game win streak coming in. And the reality is, I think the burnt orange is going to run river blood all over those Sooners. So I'm going to go with the upset on this one, and I think I'm going to be right. By the way, stay moral, my friends.
And I think Oklahoma's going to win this one. I think Kyler Murray and the offense is too explosive. Ellinger will have to come from behind. He's more of a running type quarterback, and he can't get it done. They'll be crawling behind, but I think actually Oklahoma runs it out with one, like by a lot. So the next game we have is a number 6. Notre Dame travels to Blacksburg to play Virginia Tech.
We got an we got our VIP status right here. Giving the shout out to Nathan Smith. Woo! Way to be here.
Oh boy. Woo! A broken back. He's still here.
Oh yeah. Making it happen. You're an inspiration to us all, Nathan.
Pray for Nate. So Notre Dame versus Virginia Tech. Kyle, you want to talk about this one? Yeah, I'll start this one off. Notre Dame, for the first time in a while, isn't overrated, which is surprising. I didn't think they were going to be that good because they're always rated highly. But this year, they've actually looked legit. The QB change has really worked out for them. And for that reason, I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish over the Hokies. Mr. Ward.
Well, you know what? Hey, it's Notre Dame. I'm always partial to touchdown Jesus. I have a feeling right now, okay? They're undefeated. They're coming into this one. There ain't going to be no upset here. I'm going Notre Dame all the way. Yeah!
I'm going to agree with Mr. Ward, but I am also going to point out that you might be partial to touchdown Jesus, but let's remember that this game is in Blacksburg, okay? So the Hokie faithful, they come out in droves. This is the game for them to put their name, they're going to try to put their name out in the polls, and they're just going to try to push. I'm still going to say that Notre Dame is playing too well right now. Everything is clicking for them. That I don't think that Virginia Tech is going to be able to win this one.
No, I'm with you on that, but I do believe Jesus is everywhere. So I think we got that one covered.
I walked into that one, dang it.
First of all, Virginia Tech lost to Old Dominion. Old Dominion, who was 0-3 at the time. They haven't beaten anyone. They played William and Mary, so they beat both William and Mary in the same day. It happened. And I don't think that they're going to have it. I mean, the crowd is pretty tough to play there, but Notre Dame's going to walk away with this one.
I'm just going to clarify, Knight, I did pick Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, I understand, but...
No one's picking Virginia Tech.
No.
Who are you talking to, Knight? Who are you talking to?
No.
We know these things.
Next matchup, number 13 Kentucky travels to the original 12th man at Texas A&M. They're 3-2. Kentucky is surprisingly 5-0 to start the year. Chai, what are your thoughts on this one?
Kyle.
Oh, I guess I'm going. This is my upset pick of the week. I'm going with the Aggies. Their 2 losses have come to the number 1 and number 2 team in the nation, and for that reason, in those games, they look good in both. Not really the Alabama one, more so the Clemson one. And Kentucky, they haven't really played anyone despite being 5-0. So I feel like the Aggies, with the home field advantage at Cal Field, my field, for clarification, is going to get a dub on Saturday. Mr. Ward?
You know, since we've got such great analysis over there, I'm just going to go and tell you this. Look at, I think this is going to be an upset as well. I'm going for the upset because I think ultimately the 12th man's going to bring it home. It's going to be the reason for the edge, and so I'm going with the Aggies all the way.
Okay, Knight. I hope I'm not the only one that feels this, but I think Jimbo Fisher has lost a little bit of the locker room, and I say that because a coach should never, ever put his hands on a player. I don't care if you're trying to discipline them. I don't care if you are trying to motivate them. You never do that. I coached for a lot of years. I would never do that to try to motivate a player. I think he's lost some of his. I think he's lost some of the locker room. I think it's been a distraction all week, and for that reason, I think Kentucky is the real deal. I think the Wildcats win it at Kyle Field.
I think the Aggies come away with this one. The 12th man is unreal. Like Kyle said, they only lost to Alabama and Clemson, which are one of the 2 best teams in the country. And I just don't see Kentucky winning. I mean, they're a basketball school. They're winning with just a bunch of 3-stars, and I don't think they can compete with A&M. Kellen Mond's been amazing. The next game we have is the 4-1 Washington Huskies travel to Pasadena to play the 0-4 UCLA Bruins. Kyle, I am going to bet my entire life savings, which is currently at $800, and put it on Washington. And you know how much money I would make? Probably $1. That's how much of an upset it would be if UCLA takes this game. So for that reason, Huskies in a blowout. Ward?
You know, I mean, in honor of last week, I mean, when we see what's going on with the Bruins this year, it's just obvious that they're going to be drowning in their own brewskis, and so they're not even going to be ready to play.
No.
So I think it's obvious that the Bruins are going down. I have my money on them not winning a game all season and being relegated to the WAC conference by this year.
Gonna have to agree.
Okay, to leave it to a soccer coach. Relegation is one thing. Let's just point that out. Soccer is not even a real sport.
Something that will happen because of the horrid nature of this season.
Yeah,
Bruins.
Yeah, luckily UCLA is good in basketball, so that's the only reason they're still in the Pac-12.
Better if Sharif hadn't gotten sick, but he is. Well, you know what? I'm still waiting for the UCLA basketball coach to get fired. But we'll talk about that during basketball season, how the UCLA Bruins are going to go 32-0.
Absolutely not.
But right now, we're talking about an 8-4 season. Okay? We're talking about an 8-4 season for the Bruins because this is the week that they are going to turn it around. Listen.
Wow. I'm sorry.
They had a really strong game plan against Colorado.
Did not work.
Steven Montez had to play out of his mind. But here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that when the defense is blitzing, when there's pressure on the quarterback, Jake Browning is not able. Jake Browning is not able to throw.
I can't even let the Eagle hear this.
You know what? Go ahead and be the doubters. But right now, I am calling UCLA with their first win of the season.
The worst argument I've ever heard.
Oh, bro.
Ridiculous.
That's never going to happen.
For a win.
I think it's funny that you bring up how Montez had to play insane because last week you said that Montez would play horrible, and that's just not the case. Browning might not have a great game, but I think that'll be picked up by Myles Gaskin in the run game. It won't matter. And Washington will run away with this one.
Chris Peterson is a 2-bit coach that should go back to Boise State.
I just wanted to bring up stats from last week. Last week you went 6-2. Kyle, you went 6-2. Randy, who was our guest picker, went 6-2, and I went 7-1. We know Tri's at least going 7-1 this week. So let's just keep an eye out for that. So then now we're going to switch to our NFL games. We're going to start tonight, Thursday Night Football, Colts at the Patriots. Kyle? Patriots had a bounce-back week. I saw it happening from a mile away. And the Colts aren't that good. You know, they got looked back at the beginning of the season, but the rest of their team hasn't been that good. Patriots look much better. You know, with Josh Gordon coming in at wide receiver for the Patriots, I definitely see the Patriots taking this one in Foxborough.
You know what, I see that. You know what, they definitely got luck back, but I don't think they're going to get their luck back. What we need to understand here is this. No matter what anybody says, I have a deep hatred for the Patriots. You all know that as a Raider fan, and I could just take this whole segment, the rest of it, to talk about the Tuck rule and how that ruined the rise of the Raiders.
20 years ago.
But anyways, I'm gonna let that off the side. So knowing that I'm such a huge Raider fan, and I detest the Patriots, I do have to give honor where honor's due, and that is Tom Brady is the best quarterback that has ever played this game, and he's back on track. And I just feel like this is children coming into play with the parents, with their fathers. And so the sons against the father's going to come out and teach them a lesson. So I think I'm going to have to go with New England in this one easy. I would probably say 35-17.
That's a bold prediction, at least in terms of the score. I don't think they put 17 on that defense. New England is playing super well. Every facet of their game is finally coming together, I feel like, and a lot of that is because the Patriots play the best when they're playing angry, and I feel like they're playing angry after the start that they had to this season. So I agree with you, Kyle, especially with Josh Gordon. It's another weapon that's just come back and is playing lights out for the Patriots. I'm calling the Patriots to win.
Yeah, this is another rivalry week. If you go back to all the Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, all those great shootouts, and then I think it was 2015 or 2016, the Deflategate game. The Colts have a chip on their shoulder. They want to win this game, and I think the Patriots will win by a lot because it is in New England, but I think the Colts keep it a little bit close. They've been playing some good football. The next game we have is the 3-1 Jaguars travel to Kansas City to face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are, like I said, 4-0 based on their play of their quarterback. Kyle, how do you feel about this one? This is probably the toughest game for me to pick this week because Jacksonville has such a great defense, and I think they'll actually keep Mahomes in check for the first time. But I do not believe in Bortles at all. I think he's terrible. So Kansas City keeps it rolling, 5-0. I just see it happening. This could be their year finally.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, because we all know that you're going to just hate on everyone that's in the AFC West.
No. I'm not going to hate on it. Look it. I'm going to be honest here. Okay? Here's the reality. After his performance last week with those yards, that quarterback for the Chiefs got outside of the pocket, he showed that he's the real deal. So I'm going to have to take it all the way back old school, and I'm going to have to say, look it, I think it's obvious that I've got to be rolling with my homies if I'm going to go in this one. So that's what I'm doing. I'm rolling with my homies because I think, you know what, even though I also hate the Chiefs, I got to give respect where respect's due. And I also agree, Bortles is horrible. It's like Bortles.
Yeah.
It goes together. So,
and Leonard Fournette's out, too.
I think Mahomes is the real deal. I think there are too many weapons on this team. I think the only hiccup they're going to have all season was when they come to Oakland. But that's what I got to say right now.
Tyreek Hill is
incredible.
A freak. Tyreek Hill. Let's be real right now. He is incredible. But Patrick Mahomes, I think he is no longer surprising anybody. They know that he is the center of this offense. I'm calling for an upset. I'm calling the Jaguars go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. And here's basically where this comes from. Jacksonville boasts the best linebacking core in the league, and Patrick Mahomes does all of his damage when it's a broken play. With a linebacking core that is that fast, I just don't see him being able to pull off the magic that he has for 4 weeks. And so for that reason, Jayville Jaguars taking it to Kansas City.
I think the only reason that you mentioned the Jaguars linebacking core is because of Miles Jack.
Miles Jack! Let's go!
But let's be realistic. Mahomes.
Click, clack, Jack.
Let's be honest. Mahomes has 14 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His play is phenomenal. He's actually playing a good defense this week, but the crowd is so loud in Arrowhead, and the Chiefs are going to come out on top in this one. Mahomes will find a way to scramble, get past the line, and make something happen with Hill and his other receivers like Kelsey. Next,
We got to do the Raiders, though. I mean,
Next, we have Raiders versus Chargers. Give me this one. This is going to be a game between two teams who are trying to lose this game. Both of these teams will find a way to lose this game. So whoever doesn't do that is going to come out on top. And I feel like the Chargers, even though Phillip Rivers has lost so many close games in his career, I still think the Chargers win it in their soccer stadium and go above 500.
I'm going to go with the Raiders. I'm going to go with the Raiders because I think they're finally clicking.
You know what, I'm going to say that too. I think you're wrong. Everybody who knows anything about football, you play to win the game. You play to win the game. And what we're looking at now is we're looking at a season that is going to be 13-3 for the Raiders. Happening. This is what it's coming down to, 13-3.
Even though I'm a Raiders fan, I think the Chargers will win this one. I just think their team is so... I mean, our team's just not that good this year, and Carr's played so inconsistent. So now we have our game for tomorrow. BCHS, who's 3-3, will travel to Tehachapi and play them.
Quick, there's a class. Everyone, listen up. BCHS Eagles are going to obliterate Tehachapi. Tehachapi was obliterated by Wasco, obliterated by BHS, obliterated by who? Taft? I mean, this is ridiculous.
I think they beat Taft. They beat Taft.
They beat Taft? Oh, my goodness.
It was close, though. That's their one win.
The only thing that our boys are going to be actually competing against is the weather and competing against the altitude. That's the only two things that our Eagles need to be worried about.
Yep, Eagles, easy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to give them any time to Tehachapi. It's going to be the Eagles all the way. There's no other way. I mean, if they were being coached by Nathaniel Thiessen, then we probably lose the game. But because Nate Thiessen has been so far away from the football program, has nothing to do with it. We're actually going to come out on top, I think, this whole season. I mean, just look at the guy.
Yeah, Eagles in a big one, and we beat them last year. So that'll do it for our game day today. I'm Knight. I'm Kyle. And that's Mr. Chai. We have Mr. Ward here. He left. Yeah, he left. So we'll back. Oh, but yeah.